In the early hours of September 4th, 2023, young Ana Luisa was returning home after a night out with her friends when she simply vanished. Her last sign of life was at 3:12 a.m. when Ana arranged a ride with an app driver, with the destination being her home. Ana Luisa never made it home, and when authorities began investigating her disappearance, they discovered that something terrible had happened to her. Ana Luisa Pantaleon was only 19 years old when everything happened, in September 2023. She was from Pão de Açúcar, a town with just over 20,000 inhabitants located in the state of Alagoas, Brazil. In her town, Ana lived with her mother and was very close to her family, which, according to those close to her, was the most important thing to her. Ana was a transgender woman, and her family had always supported her in this regard. All of her changes and transformations were closely followed by her family, as it was something that made Ana happy. Her family had always been by her side for everything. She was deeply loved regardless of anything, and received great support, especially from her mother, grandmother, and aunts. When she turned 18, about a year and a half before the events, Ana decided to leave her home state and move to the state of São Paulo in search of better opportunities. Along with a friend, Ana moved to Jandira, a micro-region of the city of Osasco in the state of São Paulo. There, she began living in a boarding house with 12 other girls. At this place, she made many friendships and dreamed of achieving financial independence and living the best life possible. Ana's family wasn't entirely in favor of her moving to another state, but they said that whenever she wanted or needed, she could come back home, as the doors would always be open for her. In Jandira, Ana started thinking of ways to make money quickly. She then began working as a sex worker. At that time, Ana had many plans and dreams for the future. She wanted to study architecture in college, but at the same time, she had received an offer to work as a model in Europe. Living in Europe was one of Ana Luisa's biggest dreams. However, she decided to postpone those plans to fulfill another dream, which was buying an apartment in her hometown so her family could live in a more dignified place. After saving up a good amount of money, Ana returned to her home state, where she bought an apartment for her family. She decided to stay with her family for a while, especially due to the health condition of her great-grandmother, to whom she was very close and who wasn't doing well. After spending some time with her family, Ana decided to return to São Paulo and plan her trip to Europe, which was set to happen in the coming months. However, Ana would become the center of a great mystery, one that would have a tragic ending. On September 3rd, 2023, a Sunday, Ana went out for a walk with two friends from the boarding house at night, but decided to return earlier than planned. She told her friends that she was tired and would go home to wash her hair. Her friends then dropped her off at a bus stop in Jandira, and she was last seen around 2:10 a.m. on Sunday night into Monday. After that, no one ever heard from the young woman again, who disappeared without a trace. Without any information about Ana, her friends reported her disappearance to her family on September 6th. Her mother, grandmother, and other family members were very concerned and decided to travel from the state of Alagoas to São Paulo to closely follow the search efforts. They arrived in São Paulo 3 days after her disappearance. The family distributed and posted numerous flyers throughout the city of Jandira. They also shared the disappearance on all social media platforms. Soon, the case reached the media, and a well-known local newspaper decided to interview Ana's family. Some reporters followed the family as they retraced the entire route Ana took on the day she disappeared. They also went to the boarding house where the young woman lived and found all of her belongings, except for those she had with her at the time of her disappearance. This disproved the theory that she had left without informing anyone, a hypothesis that had been raised at the beginning of the investigation. While the family distributed flyers and spread the case on social media asking for help, the São Paulo police were conducting the investigation. These investigations were closely followed both by Ana's family and the local media. During an interview, the young woman's family expressed confidence that they would find her alive. When asked where they thought she might be, they answered that they didn't know, but hoped that she was safe. After a few days of investigation, the police decided to request the release of Ana's phone records, which allowed them to trace her last steps. They discovered that the young woman had attended some clients that day, and the last one was around 3 a.m., near the time she disappeared. Security cameras in Jandira recorded the moment when Ana got into a man's car, who was an app driver, exactly at 3:11 a.m. on September 4th. After getting into the vehicle, a white Volkswagen Fox, Anna's phone stopped working, and the last signal was sent at 3:12 a.m. when she last used the device. The police then attempted to identify the man, which wasn't too difficult, as the cameras had captured the vehicle's license plate, along with the phone records. After 11 days of searching, the police finally arrested the man on September 15, 2023. His name is Lucio Douglas Rebelo da Silva, 21 years old, and he worked as an app driver. Lucio spent 5 days in prison denying any involvement in Ana Luisa's disappearance, even when confronted with the evidence presented by the police. He remained cold and constantly denied any accusations made against him. However, at some point, Lucio realized there was no way out of the hands of justice and decided to confess to the crime. Furthermore, all the evidence and proof collected by the police pointed to Lucio as the person responsible for the crime. The man's confession shattered all of Ana Luisa's family's hopes of finding her alive. During his confession on September 20th, Lucio told the police that on the day of the incident, he hired Ana Luisa's services. Lucio said that he and Ana Luisa agreed to exchange services. In short, he would drive her to her destination, and in return, she would have sex with him. However, Lucio claimed that he didn't know Ana Luisa was a trans woman, which led to an argument between them. Lucio said that he canceled the agreement, which according to him angered Ana Luisa. He stated that Anna, who was allegedly drunk, pulled a pocket knife from her bag and attacked him. In self-defense, he got into a physical struggle with her and managed to take the weapon from her, striking her in the neck in the process. The blow caused a severe wound to the young woman's neck, and due to the bleeding, she did not survive and passed away. All of this allegedly took place inside Lucio's Volkswagen Fox. Lucio stated that after the incident, he drove with Ana Luisa's body to a motel in a neighboring town. At the motel, he wrapped the young woman's body in a blanket and stayed there for about an hour to avoid raising suspicion from the staff. Then Lucio drove to another nearby town, where he dumped the body in a wooded area. After confessing to the crime, he agreed to take the police to the exact location where he had discarded Ana Luisa's body. The body was found along the side of a highway 21 miles from the spot where her friends had last seen Ana Luisa in Jandira. As the body had been in the location for nearly 15 days, wrapped in a blanket, it was in an advanced state of decomposition. The weather and animal activity accelerated the decay, making immediate identification impossible. However, the clothing found on the body matched the description of the outfit Ana Luisa was wearing on the day she disappeared, as told by her friends. The definitive confirmation came later through a DNA test, which proved the body was indeed Ana Luisa's. In an interview, the detective responsible for the case revealed that after confessing to the crime, Lucio broke down and cried intensely. He said he was worried about his own family, especially his father, whom he described as a very strict man who would never forgive him for what he had done. During the investigation, Lucio's family was also investigated. The authorities discovered that Lucio's brother was wanted for possession of illegal ammunition and using false documents. As a result, Lucio's brother was arrested during the course of the case. According to the detective, Lucio and Ana Luisa had no prior connection or knowledge of each other before the day of the incident. According to the detective, the motive for the crime was Lucio discovering that Ana Luisa was a transgender woman during moments of kissing and affection. From the beginning, Lucio claimed it was an act of self-defense, stating that Anna was the one who attacked him first. However, the authorities expressed doubts about this version and considered it highly likely that Lucio attacked Anna first, given his nervousness. The murder weapon, which Lucio claimed was a pocket knife, was never found. The victim's family had a brief encounter with the accused at the time of his arrest. Outraged, they had to be restrained when they attempted to take justice into their own hands. In an interview, Ana Luisa's grandmother stated that she believed the crime was premeditated, although there was no evidence to support this. She described Lucio as a psychopath monster and insisted that he should spend the rest of his life in prison. On January 11, 2024, the first hearing of the case took place, where witnesses were heard. The trial was scheduled for November 13th at the Second Criminal Court in Carapicuíba, and Lucio remained in custody while awaiting judgment. In an interview, Anna's family expressed trust in the justice system and hoped that Lucio would receive the maximum sentence. On November 13, 2024, Lucio Douglas Rebelo da Silva, was sentenced to 16 years in prison by the São Paulo State Court. Although the victim's family considered the sentence much lower than they had hoped for, they felt some relief with the conviction. In addition to the grief of their loss, the family faced difficulties in arranging Ana's burial. The release for the transfer of her body from São Paulo to Alagoas took nearly a month, which only deepened the family's suffering. The family needed the help of the community to cover the expenses of transporting the young woman's body and mobilize social media to raise donations, as the costs were very high. Thus, on October 12, 2023, Ana Luisa's body was finally able to be buried. The farewell ceremony took place in the young woman's hometown, and friends and family deeply mourned the loss.